in this video, we are going to work on the labs, Kubernetes labs based on node affinity. So first, let's see what is node affinity in Kubernetes. So node affinity in Kubernetes is a feature that allows you to influence where the pod is scheduled based on the labels assigned to the nodes. So here we'll be assigning the labels to the nodes, and based on that, the pods will be running on those nodes. So here we are going to apply nodes to labels to the nodes, and these are the two rules that we can use for node affinity. One is required during scheduling, ignored during execution, preferred during scheduling, ignored during execution. So here the keyword is required and preferred, or the keyword is hard or soft. So hard means it has to be in that way only. Soft means it is little flexible. So this can be defined in the pod configuration or the deployment configuration. So here we are specifying the node affinity and the type of node affinity that is required. So this is mentioned in the deployment name. So we'll be working on the labs. So let's quickly see the labs. So there are 8 questions. The first question is how many labels exist on the node 1. Okay. So here we are going to describe the node, that is node 01, and then see how many labels exist. So before that, let me run a command kubectl get nodes so that I can check how many nodes are there. Here you can see 2 nodes are there, control plane and node 01. Now I need to describe node 01 in detail. Okay, so kubectl describe node 01. So here I can see the labels. So here you can see there are labels assigned. So there are 5 labels which are already assigned to this node 01. So here I am just going to click on 5. So yes, this is correct. Now let me look at the second question. What is the value set to label key? This is a key on node 01. So this is a node 01 and these are the labels, and of that we need to check this kubernetes.io arc. This is the one. This is your key and the value is AMD64. So let's click on AMD64. Now the third question is apply label color equal to blue to node 01. So to node 01, we have to apply the label color equal to blue. Okay. So here 5 labels are already there. Here I have to add one more label color equal to blue. Okay, to this node, that is node 01. So let's check the commands in the solution. So here we can use the command kubectl label the name of the node as well as name of the node and the label that you want to give. So let me clear this. So kubectl label, because I want to assign label on the node, that is the node and the name of the node 01, and the label that I want to give is color equal to blue. Okay, so you can see label is added. Now let me verify if it is done correctly. So I'm going to describe the node 01 and then see if this label exists. So here you can see this color equal to blue label is added to the node 01. Let me click on check. Okay, it is correct. Now let me go to the fourth question. Now here we need to create a deployment name blue. The name of the deployment is blue and the name of the image is nginx and the number of replicas equal to 3. That is name is blue, replicas 3, image equal to nginx. So let's click on the solution to see the command. So here we can use this command and we can mention everything that is required here in this command. So let me clear this. So I will use kubectl create deployment and the name of the deployment is blue and the name of image is nginx and number of replicas that I require. 3 replicas will be running for the same pod. Basically, replica is like a copy equal to 3. Okay, the deployment is created. Now I can check the deployment as well as I can describe the deployment to see that these many replicas are created. Okay, so first let me check kubectl get deployments. Here I'll get the list of deployments. I can see there is only one deployment called blue. Now let me check the details of this deployment. kubectl describe deployment, and name of the deployment is blue. So here you can see there are three replicas. Desired is 3, updated is 3. Means actual is 3 and required is also 3, which is good. Second is here we are asked that the name of the image should be Nginx. So here you can see name of the image is Nginx, number of replicas equal to 3, and the deployment name is blue. You can see it here. Okay. So let me click on check. Good. Now let's go to question number 5. Now, which nodes can the pods for blue deployment be placed on? Okay, so here I want to see the three replicas, that is three pods that we have created, on which node they are running. So let me just first clear this. Now here I will use a kubectl get pods. The pods, three pods will be running because three replicas are there in the deployment. Now when I click on this, here you can see three pods are running, all of them starting with blue. Basically, these are three replicas, three copies. Now here I don't see the name of the node. To see the name of the node, I need to extend this command further. -o wide. So here you can see out of these three replicas or three pods, two of them are running on node 01 and one of them is running on the control plane. Now here they are asking that are there any taints? Taints are used for giving like like in case we want that certain pods to run on certain nodes, then we can use taints. So here the question asked is, are there any taints assigned to or to the node? Both the nodes in this case is one node is node 01, second node is control plane. Now let me check. Okay, so for checking, we need to check the details of the node. So kubectl describe node and node 01. Okay. Similarly, I need to do for the control plane also. Now, instead of looking all the details, I'll just filter out only the required one. So I will use grep-ai taint. Okay. So let me see any taint is assigned. You can see there is no taint. Okay. Basically, there is no restriction imposed of any kind on like which pod can run on which node. Now let me check the other node, that is control plane, if any taint is assigned. So there is no taint. So if no taint is assigned, then these pods are free to run on any of the nodes. Like they can run on both or one. Okay. So here it can run on both because there is no restriction. Okay. Now coming to question 6. Now here they are asking to set the node affinity to the blue deployment. So there is a deployment that we created, blue, and to that we have to apply the node affinity to place the pods on the node 01 only. So it means that after applying this affinity, these blue pods or the replicas should be running on only one node, and that one node is node 01. It should not be running on control plane. So for that, we have to make sure the node 1 has a label color equal to blue. This we have already done. I will just show you once. And we should also apply these settings. Okay. So if node 1 is already set, apply it to node 01 before updating. Okay, if the label is not already set. Okay. Now let's do one thing. I need to check the label in both the cases. Okay, so let me clear this first. kubectl describe. Here we are talking about node 01. Okay, so in this case, let me check the label. The label color equal to blue is already there. Now let me check if it is done for the deployment also. The name of the deployment is blue. So kubectl describe deployment blue. Okay. So here I will check if any label is assigned. Okay, label app equal to blue, but color equal to blue is not there. Here it is app equal to blue. So I need to do something about it. Okay, as well as I need to set this also, the node affinity. Now let me check the solution. Okay, so here we need to edit the deployment, and in that deployment we can apply this affinity, as well as we can assign the key value, that is key is color and the value is blue. Okay, so that these all the pods in this deployment, they will know that they should run on the node which has same key value pair. So in this case, the node is node 01. Okay. So now let me clear this. I will say kubectl edit. Now I need to edit deployment. So edit deployment and the name of the deployment is blue. Okay. So here I'm going to add few lines which are related to affinity. So just check here under spec, there is one more spec, and below that there is a container, and in the same line as container we need to add these lines related to affinity. So let me copy this. So container, so I can add it here. So I'll use vi commands. So I will paste the content. You can see this affinity is in the same line as container, which is good. I'm going to save it by escape colon wq and exclamation mark. Now it is edited. Okay. So now what I will do is I will check if these pods are running on the same node or not after applying this. But that is not asked here. But for now, since we have already done these changes, let me click on check. In the next question, we'll be checking if the pods are running on the node 01. Okay. Now coming to question number 7, which nodes are the pods placed on now? So now I need to check the pods where or on which node they are running. Earlier, one pod is running on control plane, two pods are running on node 01. Okay, now first let me clear this. So I will use get kubectl get pods, but this will not show the node name. So for that, I need to use -o wide. See, here all these three pods under this deployment blue, they are running on the node 01. Now they are not running on control plane node. Okay, so now let me click on this. Now the last question. So in this question, what they're asking, create a new deployment name called red. Earlier we created a deployment name called blue. Now we need to create a deployment name called red. The image is same, Nginx, but in this case the number of replicas are 2, and ensure that it get placed on control plane. So the 2 replicas or 2 pods should now be running on control plane only. They should not be running on node 01. So now they are saying use the label key which is already defined on the node control plane. Let me just clear this first. So I will say kubectl describe node, and the name of the node is control plane. Okay, so let's see which label they are referring to. They are referring to node-role Kubernetes. Node-role Kubernetes. Node-role Kubernetes equal to, the value is not mentioned here. Okay, which is already set on the control plane, but value is not there. Okay, so what we need to do, the name should be red, number of replicas 2, Nginx. This is the deployment name that we have to create. And after creating, we have to add these settings. So for this key, that is this key, we have to add the value, use a write operator. Okay. So here we have to, let's check the solution. So we need to update this YML and just deploy it. Like you can create the deployment using YML also. So we will use this YML. Here you can see everything is mentioned. Number of replica is mentioned. The name is red. The image is Nginx, that is also mentioned. And here all the required affinity configuration, the key, and everything is mentioned. Okay. So let me just copy this entire thing. And I will create a YAML file. You can create with any name. We can use the same name or different name. So I will use vi editor, vi redeploy.yaml. I for insert. I will just paste this escape colon wq exit. Okay, now this file is created. Now I can use this file to create the deployment with all the necessary settings. So it is done in one go once this YML is created. So I'll say kubectl create -f, that is name of the file, redeploy.yml. Okay, you can see deployment is created. Let me just use kubectl get deployment. So you can see a red deployment is already also created. Okay, now I can just check the details to find all the things are present. So what I will do is I will say kubectl describe deployment and the deployment name is red. Okay, so here you can see all the necessary name is red, number of replicas 2 and so on. So all are mentioned here. Okay, so now let's see if they are running on the control plane node. So kubectl get pods -o wide. So here you can see that the two newly created pods or replicas under red deployment, they are running on the node control plane. The earlier ones, they are running on the node 01. So in this way, like using these labels or the names or affinity assigned to the nodes, we can decide which pods are going to run on which node. Thank you.